Happy Sunday, everybody. Chucky and I are going to do a little thing called drive time and story time together. Now, I don't know the quality of this video because it's, I don't know, I put it on wide selfie, but it is what it is. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you is the story of Hannah and Madelynn. It is so funny, and it's best when Chucky tells it because he got it down to a science with the way this happened. So, first I'm going to tell you that sometimes in life people do some stupid stuff. And Chucky and I broke up for a brief moment, and I lived in a completely different place. And I was miserable there. And Chucky came to move me with him where we live now since 2006. And Hannah and Madelynn had not seen him. Those were my two dogs. Hannah was already 5 when I got with Chucky, and Madelynn was, what, 5-6 months old?
Yeah.
And they loved him. He was their father, no doubt about it. So the whole time we lived where we were living, all they did was pace, and they were so uncomfortable, like they couldn't stand being where they were. They were very unhappy and very uncomfortable. So we were there and moving, and Chucky didn't come yet. He was on his way, and I want you to take over of what happened when you got to that door.
Sure, I can.
Yes, you can. You tell it all the time.
But you can tell it.
No,
Shirley.
you tell.
I'll just, if you say something that you missed, I'll help
Chucky,
you out.
knock it off. You're
Sure,
on live right now.
I know
doing
that.
This.
I like looking at the thing when I think that I'm driving, so I don't want to.
You don't need to look at it. Just be you.
But you know, when I be me, I want to be do the gestures.
Just do it.
Sure.
Do you realize you're on right now being
Yeah.
recorded with this bullshit?
Yes. You're the one who's saying bullshit, not me.
What can I say? Chucky got to the door. Take it away.
Okay, I got to the door, and I opened the door. She said, "Come in." I opened the door up, and I walked in, and Hannah saw me first. She was running off that couch, but her legs were moving, but she wasn't going. She was trying to go that fast to come get me, and she couldn't do it. And Madelynn saw me, and Madelynn started running too, but her legs were sliding on
The floor?
the floor. She couldn't go either, and then they finally jumped on me.
They almost knocked him like that.
Yeah, they knocked me back against the door. They were so glad to see me.
Oh my God, it was something. And then we came back to the house where we live now. They were never, ever in this house one time. So you know when animals, whether it's dogs, cats, whatever, they got to sniff their territory and they got to check everything out. They walked into the kitchen, walked in the living room, did
Well, there's a 2 steps drop into our living room.
Right, go ahead.
And they walked into the kitchen, and then they went right into the living room, both of them. Went down them steps, and this is unbelievable, but they both sighed and laid down, and they slept for 2 days.
Well, not quite the whole 2 days, but yeah, they slept. We were moving in and out, and they never moved. They were literally snoring. Both of them. They were so relaxed.
They knew they were home.
Yep. They were so relaxed, so content, and just where they were supposed to be that, I mean, it was unreal. I never seen nothing like it in my life. And then, a couple years later, we lost Aunt Margie, and we were on our way down. No, it wasn't. It was Christmas Day, wasn't it?
When?
Went the highway, 81.
I don't know
When you
that
passed me. It was a happy day. It wasn't a sad day. And Aunt Margie, we were all together.
No, the only time we did that is when we have all the dogs like that. I think it was Aunt Margie.
All right, well, one time we were going back home. We took them with us. We were staying. Did we stay at the motel? That had to be Aunt Margie. That was, and Christmas.
Yeah.
It was Christmas.
We didn't stay at the hotel for Christmas.
Yes, we did. Remember, you took them back home in the morning, and then Mom came down to the hotel. Yes, it was Christmas. Anyway, I was in one vehicle, Wim was in the other because he had to go back the next day and work, and he was taking the kids back home with him, and then I was going to spend the day with my mom and then go back home later because Win had to go to work. So they were with me driving down 81. and their dad, I was in the speed lane, and their dad was in the passenger lane, and I didn't even say a word. At that time, we had two-way. What was that cell phone? Nextel, that stupid two-way, beep, beep, and then you talk. But we were doing that, and he said, coming up beside you, babe. And I looked over, and I, like, nodded, and Hannah was in the front, and Madelynn was in the back. And all of a sudden, Hannah looked over, she's like, she's sitting here, she looked over, and tell her what she did.
Well, she looked over, and just like a person would do, and there's nowhere a double take.
She literally...
She looked over and put her head back, like looking, all of a sudden she realized her head snapped back again. She was going against that glass, barking like the dickens.
Then she got Madelynn to look, and then Madelynn started, and then I had my Blazer then, and they jumped in the back of the Blazer, and they're scratching on the windows, and they're carrying on. I swear to God, mouth open and everything. She looked over normally, and then she went, and then went nuts. I mean, nuts. We laughed and laughed, and I wasn't so much laughing because my eardrums were being busted with the barking and the going on.
But it was funny.
Oh my God, it was hysterical. I mean, when they saw their dad, that was it. And how they knew, because he didn't even do anything. He just went like this and drove by, and he very nonchalantly did that. Like, I don't even think Hannah saw that. They knew exactly who was in that vehicle beside us, and they went batshit crazy. I mean, it was insanity. So, those are just two stories of them, and people don't realize, and people don't think, and Wynn can talk here too, when people dump dogs especially, I mean cats too, it doesn't matter what it is, you don't realize what you're doing to them. Look at Madelynn and Hannah. They were away from their father, we broke up maybe 5-6 months.
I don't know.
And they were miserable. They were... Sure. Shut the hell up, I'll kill you. They were very unhappy. I mean, they were just not themselves. And the minute we stepped through the threshold of that door and they got down them steps, they were on that couch, and both of them literally, sigh of relief.
They didn't make it to the couch. They lay on the floor. They slept on the floor.
They were on the couch eventually.
No, Hannah slept on that floor right there below the steps. Maybe Madelynn crawled up on the couch later on, but not both of them laid right down. That's on the
one lane. What's going on?
Bridge.
Oh. So yeah, people don't realize the impact and the capacity of what they do to an animal when they just decide, oh, we don't have time for you anymore. We don't have room for you. We're moving, and they don't allow pets. People, let me just say, our little story was of happiness and love. Madelynn and Hannah are in heaven now. But every day we think of them, and we miss them, and we love them. And if you're gonna get a pet, I don't care if it's a rabbit, a hamster, a rat, a dog, a cat, it doesn't matter. If it's not for life, don't do it. Don't put them through that. That is just so cruel and so wrong. You have no idea. And like Dixie and Gunner, what's the problem? We rescued them from a yard sale 3 years ago. And we go to the vet and tell them what Dix does at the vet.
I don't remember. So
you don't know what Dixie does at the vet with you.
Oh, she won't go back. Oh, I know what you mean now. She won't. I have to actually walk back in the back with Dixie, and they let it happen because she will not leave me.
And she has, she digs her nails, and she sits on his legs with her boomy and has her arms wrapped around his neck and digs into him and will not let go. I mean, she is holding on for dear life. I mean, never did you see anything like it. And it's like, can you imagine us just going and taking her somewhere where, number one, she's terrified, and number two, just dumping her and walking out? Do you know what that would do to her? I mean, seriously. And people don't think, or maybe it's just that they don't care. They're selfish and cruel, and I just don't understand. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't like it because, let's face it, I love my comforts. But if I had to live in a tent in the woods to keep my children, you bet your butt that's what I'm doing, because my babies ain't going nowhere till God decides it's time for them to go to heaven. I mean, Christmas time's coming, and I guess it makes me think, people always get pets for Christmas for their kids. And then that sweet, cute little puppy that's peeing all over your floor and pooping, and you take it out and it doesn't house break when you want it to, and you realize the messes it makes, and they chew shit up and that. People then decide maybe they bit off more than they could chew. That's all well and good for you, but what are you doing to the pup? Go to a shelter once and look at it overrun with dogs that probably aren't going to make it. They're probably going to be euthanized, and that statistic starts with us. Spay and neuter, and if you're going to make a commitment, make that commitment. It's for life or it's not at all. I mean,